So Frank, congratulations on winning your second national championship, and now this is your second in 3 years?
Second in 5 years.
Second in 5 years. So let's talk about the past 5 years. So last year you lost in the final?
National championship game to Herkimer.
Okay, and this year you won in the final. Who'd you beat in the final this year?
Richland from Texas.
Richland. And what was the final?
2-1.
2-1, okay. And then the other one, your other national championship was from 2010?
Yes.
All right, great. Frank, now you've been here at Suffolk for 8 years?
Yes, this was the 8th year.
And how many times have you been to the final in 8 years, or the finals?
We went to the national championship game 3 times.
But there's a whole final quarterfinal.
Yeah, we went to nationals 5 times.
So out of 8 years, you've been to nationals 5 times. You've been in 3 finals. You've won 2, and you came in second once.
Yes.
All right, that's phenomenal.
Thank you.
What is it that you think? What's the magic sauce that you think you've created here at Suffolk that you're creating this kind of result?
Well, recruiting has a lot to do with it. I mean, we get fantastic players, and I think ultimately it's the family atmosphere that we have here. I mean, the boys, they love each other, they play for each other, and they play hard all the time.
Mm-hmm. And where's most of your talent from? You know, a lot of the guys are from the island, right?
This year, out of the 25 guys, there was 22 from Suffolk County, which
Wow.
was amazing because up at Nationals, just in the Final Four, Cayuga had 30 internationals, Herkimer had 25, and Richland had 18, and we did it with 22 Suffolk County boys.
That's amazing. Talk about that a little bit. I think people under the misperception potentially that, so this is a community college and you're playing against other community colleges. How can they have so many international players?
Just their situations, I guess. They have, some junior colleges have dorms. Some tuitions are extremely cheap, even cheaper than ours. So they have some advantages, but we have a lot of local talent which can play at a high level.
Now, Frank, you're a Long Island guy. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Deer Park.
So do you think that helps in the sense that you really understand the island and you really understand the talent that comes from Long Island?
Oh, absolutely. And there's enough talent here to compete at any level. Obviously, it always helps to have a little bit of international flair for that experience, the quality of play. But we have tremendous players on Long Island. It's a hotbed for soccer.
You know what? I think that's an interesting point because certainly Long Island used to be a hotbed where Division I programs all over the country would come to Long Island to look for talent.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's changed over the past 5-10 years?
I think the landscape of soccer in the country has changed over the last couple of years. You look at Texas, you look at California, you look at Florida. They're all producing quality players. But I still think Long Island is still a tremendous place to find talent.
Well, obviously you're proving it. You're competing at a very high level, at a national level, and winning championships. Frank, you got to, once again, there's a lot of coaches and there's a lot of people that are out there competing. What's your magic sauce? What's your philosophy about play, the way you play? Because it isn't always about the players. It's about, once again, you're doing it with different teams, with different talent. What's your magic sauce? What's the thing that you think you're doing differently that's creating these results?
We prepare the boys to the best of our ability. I think no matter what, they're always prepared to play. We make adjustments throughout the game, which always helps, especially at Nationals. We had a great run this year, and if something wasn't working, we tweaked it, and it worked out to our advantage. And I just think the style of play, we play possession-based, and when we lose the ball, we work really hard to get it back.
Right. Now, is there any model that you have? Like, some coaches like to play like sort of a Barcelona style, or is there any model in your mind that you kind of duplicate?
We just like to keep the ball on the ground. We play together. We play for each other, and everybody evolves. Players evolve, coaches evolve, and we used to just play a 4-4-2, and now we've evolved into playing a 3-5-2. A 4-2-3-1. We've changed our style to fit what we have here.
So every year, right? So now you have to adjust based on your players, and that's a different playing system as well.
Absolutely.
When we talk about the boys, coming from the island here, let's talk a little bit about technical skill and tactical play. How do the kids rank? Do you think that you're getting, and where do you get most of your players from? What are their technical abilities? Are they good technically? Are they great technically?
Like everything else, I have some players that are just off the chart. Technically they're just unbelievable. Some are technically sound, and some are just hardworking boys. Some are tough, some are good defenders. I mean, you have to have a mix. You can't have all of the same player. You can't have 25 of the same type of player. It doesn't work. You need a mixture.
Good for you. And now let's talk about fitness. Now, are you are you really tough on the guys as far as fitness is concerned because you play that style?
No. We do everything with the ball. Everything's with the ball. We rarely run without the ball. And I always ask the boys after the season, like, what would you see differently? What would you like changed? And actually, one year when we won it in 2010, most of the guys said, I think we should have ran a little bit more. Like, we didn't do enough of it. But you don't need to do that. You know, it's not a track team. You need to get fit, but if you do everything with the ball, technically it'll work on their technical game, and it'll get them fit as well.
That's awesome. Frank, where are some of the I guess, the hotbeds here on the island that you like to recruit, or where you're getting some of your talent from, or most of your talent from?
This year, a lot of the boys came from Brentwood, which obviously has amazing success at the high school level, and just anywhere. We look for players everywhere. It doesn't matter. We just want quality players, and more importantly, quality kids.
And now, when you think about setting this, this bar, now how many victories do you have in your 8 years?
131.
131. What's your record overall in 8 years?
131, 12, and 9.
That's a pretty amazing record. I suppose, when you start winning championships like this, what's the expectation? Is the expectation when the boys show up that you're shooting for a championship every year? Have you created that culture?
Every year, every single year. And it's funny, I always tell the boys, we're not going into a season saying, well, maybe we could go 15-5 this year. We're going 20-0. Like, that's your goal. You should strive for perfection. And if we prepare them properly, and they work hard enough, and they believe in us, and we believe in them, anything can get done.
Frank, what are some of your goals? What's next for you? I mean, you've been here now 8 years. Talk about your growth as a coach. Is there national level aspirations? Division I programs. What are some of the things for you for growth?
I love Suffolk. We have really created something special here, which had never been done, which is fantastic. I am a Long Island boy, and my goal obviously one day is to get to a D1 program. You never know, sooner rather than later, but the only thing that I can control is what we do here, and hopefully develop young student athletes into good men and quality players.